Welcome to the Besties Podcast on Besties Radio.
Whenever I need motivation or encouragement, I listen to the Besties Podcast on Besties Radio every Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Hi, my name is Summer, and you are listening to the Besties Podcast on Besties Radio every Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Welcome back, everybody. We have another awesome episode of the Besties Podcast. We have a special guest today. We have Mr. Yogi on the line with us today. Dope brother from around the way. I can't wait to get into this conversation today. Our topic is hood politics. He is the co-owner of Fatboy Clothing Company. He does music. I'll let him explain that to you guys a little bit later. But let's just start off. We have Simply Naima. We have Miss Crystal from Go Beautiful. We see her melanin is popping. All right. And so, Mr. Yogi, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, just recently turned 39. I'm from the city of Philadelphia, originally from North Philadelphia, Cambridge, Moore, Richard Island. I say I was born in North, but West Philly raised. I'm the type of person that just I like to hustle and help people. So you always see me chasing the dollar and giving it back. Just became a father for the first time. Like I said, I'm an open book. Whatever y'all want to know, just ask me.
Okay. So, and congratulations on the baby. He is adorable. And welcome to fatherhood. It's a wonderful thing.
Thank you.
So we're going to start talking about the business first, and then we'll get into our topic a little later. So just tell us about the brand, Fatboy Clothing. What's the idea behind the brand? What's the mission? Why you started?
All right. Before I take you there, I gotta take you to how I actually got into the fashion industry, or clothing or whatever, so to speak. It was back in like 2003. Naima, you remember Halim?
Yes, Lean. Rest in peace, Lean.
And Khadijah, that right. Rest in peace, Halim Lindsay. Khadijah, that picture that I sent you. It's a picture of me. When Halim was like in 2003, Halim was 11 years old. He came to me and said he wanted to start a clothing company by painting shirts, and he could draw. So he would draw on the shirts, and I would hand paint it. And I fully funded it, and that was a way to get him some money and show him something positive. You know, especially with all the negativity that was around him, it was easy for him to be influenced to do something negative. So it was a way for me to show him how to make money in a positive way. So in that picture, I never could draw. Halim would always draw. I never could draw. That Yogi Bear was the first thing I ever drew in my life. Wow. And that was last year. So it was like, in that picture, you see my tattoo of Halim on my arm. And in the background, you see two pieces of Fatboy Clothing Company. That's exactly why I sent you that picture. It was like as if Halim entered me somehow, some way, and it was me drawing a reflection of myself. That was the first thing that I ever drew, and for it to be something that to be added in the Beanie Alban collection, which I named after my mother, who passed almost 3 years ago. So. Thank you. So when Fatboy Clothing Company came along, it was actually my partner's idea. He had it, and at first I was just a consumer, and people would see me with the shirts, and next thing you know, I was selling the shirts because I was selling the shirts more than he was. Right. So then after a while, he asked me if I wanted to buy in, and I bought in, and that was in 2012, and we've been doing that for a while, but after my mom passed, I just put my focus more on Beanie Albine because that's my mom, So
Yeah.
um, but yeah, that's how I got into the clothing um side of it. It was just actually just other people's ambition first that made me pursue my own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome, and that is what's going to allow your business to progress and to do well because you have such a good meaning behind it. A lot of people start a business just because they want to make money, and they find themselves failing over and over again. They don't have a real reason or mission behind it. That's awesome. I didn't know that. And I'm glad we had the opportunity to talk about it because I don't know how many people would just, guess that it was so much meaning and passion behind that brand. Um, and so,
Right.
how are you doing with it? How is the hood responding to it? Are you guys doing well? How has it been trying to grow a business owner?
Well, Fatboy for me, it was like I was just a part of something that, you know, I didn't really. I took it as a way to make money at first, and when it's a partnership, sometimes partners don't always see eye to eye. So um, it's no bad blood. We still family. We still speak to each other. We still talk to each other. He also just had a baby himself, so it's like everything been on slow motion for us as far as Fat Boy Clothing Company, but it's in the works to get back up because I was just focused on my mom legacy because I felt like that was
Mm-hmm.
more important to me
Mm-hmm.
for me to push my mother's name because at the time when I started it, I still didn't have any offsprings or anything like that. So it's like I got to keep my mom legacy going. You know what I mean? It was an honor for me to do that. But as far as with Fat Boy, it was at first, it was doing good with any business when it first start off, where you have your specific clientele that'll come to you and support you and always support you on what you do, and then it starts to wean off after a while, unless you come up with new ideas or whatever. And like I said, if you got a partner, if you thinking one way and your partner thinking another way, and you don't come to common ground, it's just you know some things just don't work out. But it's we still together, but I just like I said, I had to focus on me more. That's all.
And so, how is fatherhood and trying to, still keep the business, even though you kind of, like you said, you guys are in slow motion? How has fatherhood played a part in how you're moving now with the business and just in life in general?
Um, it actually, like everything came together. Like my son, COVID hit everything, so now it's like I'm working from home. So now it's like the time where I would have to commute back and forth to work and be in the office. I'm actually around my clientele base. Like if I go outside, I guarantee I see at least 3 people with a shirt or a hoodie
Wow.
or Scully or even when I see little kids going to school, I see little kids still with Fat Boy clothes and in big bags when I do the back to school drive and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. And also like as far as like giving back to the community when I back to school drives and toy drives and stuff like that. Um, when the little kids come up to me like in the spring and the summer, like Yogi, bro, you doing book bags this year? And I'd be like, yeah. And they'd be like, all right, I want this type of book bag. Like it's like it's a purpose. And they
Mm-hmm.
actually appreciative of it. As far as well, other people you might do stuff for some people and they don't really be as appreciative. And when it comes from the children, I just feel like it's genuine. So I try to, and when I do give back, that's why I mostly do for the children because I know they're appreciative and they innocent and they didn't ask to be here. So you got to give back to the children. I always been that way.
And that's a big deal for me. part of our mission is the community, our Black men, and we always talk about how people start businesses in our community, but they don't give back. You start a business and then you take your money outside of the community that you live and work in. That's not cool. Naima, Crystal, I don't want to take up all the time. You guys have any questions or anything you want to ask, because I'll ask a million questions.
I'm just in awe, of Yo, because, we grew up in the same neighborhood, and this man is 100% official. When Yo was young, we used to have conversations because he was always intelligent, speaking that Espanol. He was a different kind of dude. He wasn't regular. So for me, I'm just happy to see him as a grown man, and pretty much a solid father and community figure. We grew up around a lot of stuff. A lot of our homies ain't here because they're dead or in jail. You know what I mean? And you're like, you're really doing it. So you're doing the business thing. And I had no idea that it was on the backbone of Halim, and that's personal to most of us. So that just what you're doing even greater. I literally had no idea. So I just applaud what you're doing, and however we can support, that's what I want to do. I got a social work background. We can get some sponsors for your drives, because I know you do your bag drive and your toy drive, and I just applaud you. We could do it on a larger scale. That's what I'm looking forward to.
I'm hit y'all up for some consulting services.
Yes, but just keep doing.
I gotta hit y'all up for some consulting services.
Say that one more time.
Thank you. I said I'm gonna have to hit y'all up for some consulting services. I was looking on the site at the packages and all that. I gotta definitely get with y'all for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like we said, anything that we can do to push your mission forward, we will. But can you just speak a little bit about what made you go in a direction that you went into, as opposed to maybe getting caught up, and going to the left? Like, what was it that kept you on the, I don't say a straight path, but how is Yogi here today? You know what I mean? Like, is it prayer? Like, did you move? Cut yourself off? Like, were you just committed, to your excellence? Like, how'd you do it?
I'm gonna keep it all the way real with you now, because I can't sugarcoat it with you, because you've actually witnessed certain stuff firsthand. So I dip and dabble in the streets all my life, most of my life, not all my life, most of my life. And but like you said, I was always smarter. To be honest with you, that's why they call me Yogi, because I'm smarter than the average. It's not because I look like the best. So what it was like, I always kept a job. I always, when everybody was doing that, I wanted to go over there and do this. Used to call my birthday September 25th. My mom used to call me on my birthday, tell me happy birthday, go get a job. Get out the streets, go get a job. And I would listen. I would go get a job, and while I'm at work, next thing you know, the block get hit or something like that, or whatever. And I'm at work, and I'm sitting there like, yeah, I'm glad I'm at work. And it was, I never wanted to be like everybody else. If everybody was doing this, I wanted to do something else. If everybody was standing on this corner, I was over there. If you know what I mean, because when they see a bunch of people together, that's where they're going more than likely flock to. So, and then like I said, I was never confined to one neighborhood also. So I always moved around. It wasn't like I was always stationary. So I think it was just the way I moved, my blessings, the fact that I listened, and the fact that I had people that was willing to reach out and tell me certain stuff. Even when I was in the streets and people would, downplay the customers, I would listen. You know what I'm saying? Because they've been where I'm about to go. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody have a story. Everybody wasn't how they are now. You know what I mean? At that point in time. Because for a prime example, Morgan. Ronald was the man in our neighborhood. You know what I'm
Woo!
saying?
Yes,
And look at him now.
exactly.
But because he is who he is now, and has an addiction, you going downplay him.
You get
But
that
he
same
can teach
respect
you
though.
something because he
Absolutely.
made some mistakes in his life.
Right, right. You know, I think more of our young people need somebody like you, especially like that been through it all. You know, and that's why it's so important for us to be doing this work. I had a conversation with Raw not too long ago. Because this stuff that he's trying to do. We got to do it now before it's too late. You know what I'm saying? Like we got to put you gentlemen in the forefront because y'all understand what's really going on. And when we have all of this nonsense with this gun
Right.
violence for people, I honestly believe that the only way we shift the paradigm is with people like yourself who had it both ways and understand the difference. So I just shout you out to everything you're doing, bro. Seriously.
Thank you. And I talk to like the youth a lot because um, I'm still in the hood. I'm just not in that hood. I'm just in a different
Absolutely.
hood. So
Yes.
where I moved to is like they still respect me. I'm back down north, but I'm in like the Spanish area. So
Mhm.
and already speak Spanish, so it's like it's already good. So I speak to everybody. Like I said, even the ones that was like my age, like I see them and they recognize it from when they saw me I ain't even had a conversation with them, but they can recognize like I've been them or whatever. So from I've been here like 6 years now, so I talked to them. All of them, they all knew my mom. You know what I mean? Help a couple of them out with their music. Paid for
Right.
videos, studio time, all that. Take to the next level, and you ain't got to be out here doing no dumb stuff to try to get some studio time to try to make it up out of here. Like if I can help you, you know what I mean, I'll help you. But other than that, and then some of them just move, and I see it firsthand. A lot of these like murders that's happening in the streets, a lot of these murders are being committed by children, like literally children. Like they like 16, 17 running around with 30, 40 shots. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like I see it every day. Like, and I'm like, yo, what are you doing? Man, I
Yeah.
ain't getting caught lacking out here. No, you try to talk to them. Some of them get it. Some of them don't. Some of them just lack the willpower to be themselves. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And they just want to fit in. But some of them get it, and that's why I keep doing it because I feel like if it's 100 of them, I know at least one of them going listen. And even like when the kids be like, "Am I doing the back to school drive?" One of them might get older and be like, "I remember when Yogi used to do get a book bag and the school supplies out." I'm gonna start doing that. You know what I mean? Whether I'm here or gone, they might look at me and be like, "Yo." I had a couple people say, "Yo, I want to do a coke drive. You want to help me build it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, if you serious, let me know."
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of them don't come back. But some of them do come back. You know what I mean? And I give them advice or help them out, give them a couple dollars and towards the cause or whatever. But a lot of them talk it, but they just gotta be willing to walk it and be an individual and not yeah.
Do you think it's something that could be done on a larger scale to just get them to, I guess, get them on the right path, a straight and narrow path? Is there something that could be done on a larger scale that we could do collectively?
Honestly, to be honest with you, I think for real, to start in the school system, like if they start putting like trades, like shop and all that, and teaching finance and all that, and teaching children how to manage money instead of teaching them all this false history, um, they'll be interested and they'll know how to build wealth and manage money,
Right.
opposed to just going out in the street and trying to sell whatever or take from somebody else. If you teaching them how to make money, like why you can't teach children how to invest in stocks in high school, like or middle school? Why they in computers at 5 and 6?
Mm-hmm.
Why you can't teach children how to invest in stock and trade in middle school?
It's a good point.
There's all this technology in the school. They super advanced because by the time they get out the womb, somebody putting a screen in their face.
Mm-hmm.
So they already
Yeah.
hip to the technology. If they already hip to the technology, you can teach. Why are you teaching them stuff that's not really going to help them better themselves for real? And then 50% of it is lies.
Mm-hmm. We have to teach our own children, or our group is based off of group economics and collective work. That's why I asked, what did you think that we could do on a larger scale? Naima and her husband, they have a finance company where they teach financial literacy and about college, and not even what you said about the trades. I think that's a great idea too. But I think that's something that we could probably do together with the people in our community who are serious. Like we can put something together where the children are learning the trades and learning financial literacy. Do you think that would really help though? Like, would they come to the classes? Like, where were we talking about this, Naima? We talked about, I think when we had that meeting with the nonprofit about how they go outside, they get all this information, they learn all this good stuff, but then when they come back to their neighborhood, they have to face everybody else in the neighborhood that's not on the same page as them. So there's the dilemma of, do I continue on this right path, and everybody around me is doing something else? Like, how do you combat something like that? I mean, you may not have the answers, but I just fear that will be the problem. Like, if we put something together and we set them up, then they go back home and the guys outside are like, no, let's go do X, Y, and Z. What do you do?
We do it anyway.
Yeah, no, I hear you, but I think it really is start. I think it'll really start in the home. If you get the family to do it, and you know what I mean, and they, because at the end of the day, everybody learning how to trade and make money, and it's going to come back into their household. And what I see nowadays is a lot of kids not even outside because they're all in the house on video games. For real. They don't even really have to go outside to play with their friends. They just go online and they be on, like my great nephew be in that room playing a video game for 9 hours. You know what I'm saying? Like that's technically the PlayStation 4 is a computer.
Mm-hmm.
Crystal, I'm thinking about that. You know, these kids just staying in the house and on the computers and stuff. Y'all remember when we was kids, our parents was like, get out, go outside and play. You know, giving us opportunities to socialize. Don't get me wrong, outside today is different than outside was when we were coming up. However, the children just sit in the house and their eyes are just pinned to a tablet or a computer or a video game of some sorts. Like, y'all remember when we were younger, we had to go outside and play. Like, am I the only one to have children that don't go outside and play? Like, or are you guys experiencing that same thing?
Well, mine are younger and some older. My 10-year-old likes to go outside and play. She also likes to stay online too, but she has a balance because there's a lot of estrogen, and Naima, the estrogen that flows here in the house and the burn academy that happens. So she goes outside to get away from us, which is fine. And there are some kids, there aren't, I would say kids don't go outside as much because there aren't, especially on my block, there aren't a lot of kids. Even though there's a school down there, at the end of the block, there aren't a lot of kids. And then in our neighborhood, we don't have a playground that's safe for them to go to. There's one close, but the swings are all gone. The slide is suspect. So for them to go outside and play, they're limited to the sidewalk. She goes outside and play. My older kids, I have them in activities. When they're not at cheer practice, they're at dance practice. We just came in today from a performance. And that's how I get them out, because I know the older ones aren't going to say, you know what, I want to go ride my bike. Or, you know what, I want to go outside and see my friend. But I know that having them in these activities, they get to see their friends that they either made there at their activity or they bring the other friends with them to do it. And I think that, of course, when we were growing up, times were different. Outside was exciting and outside was a lot safer and a lot cleaner. And for our kids today, going outside has to be managed, by an adult, no matter what age they are. And it has to be in a safe environment where not only we feel safe, but they feel safe going outside and, playing, whether it be basketball, football, jumping rope. And they don't have, I think, because the world has gotten, when I say smaller, everyone on my block has at least 2 cars. So there's limited space for them to even go out in the street and jump rope. Mm-hmm. And the side, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm big. I remember sidewalks being a lot bigger. Like our sidewalk space isn't even that big where 2 people can play outside, at a distance and still have room to play. So
we have comments. One person said, "Yep, my kids don't know what outside feels like." Freeze tag, manhunt, double dutch. I think, like you said, part of it is fearful. Like, I know where my kids are if they're in the house. So I'm not worried about, where you are, what's going on. I know me and Naima, we used to leave and be everywhere. We would walk everywhere and just walk and walk and walk as long as we made it back by a certain time before, got dark or whatever. Yeah, we were good. And then we would sit outside and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. So, I don't know. I know me and I talk a lot about how when we were younger, we could have done a lot of other things. I mean, we were generally good kids for the most part. I think it, like you were saying, I mean, because we did what we did. But I mean, for the most part, we could have done some other crazy things. But like Yogi was saying, that it starts in the home. You got to get the whole house involved. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't.
That was another thing I wanted to point out. Like when we were growing up, and you ladies can attest to this, neighbors looked out for our kids. Like I couldn't go past Mr. Tommy's house. And if I went past Mr. Tommy's house, Mr. Tommy was calling my grandmother, "Hey, Ethel, Crystal went past my house." Or he would stop me like, "Hey, Crystal, you're not supposed to go down that far. Come back down here before I tell your grandma." And now neighbors will dead ass look at your kids, watch them do something wrong, and turn around and shake their head and go in the house and not say anything. And I told my neighbors all the time, I'm not that mom. If you see my kids acting up or any kid acting up, you need to check them, because then they feel like they can do it. And that is part of the problem with our young people these days, is because they do things and adults don't check them where they're at. And they feel like they can do it and that they're our equal when they're not. I have to check so many of the young girls, like, little girl, I'm gonna need you to simmer down. A little boy, your mother might call you young man, somebody else might call you young man, but right now you're a little boy to me because you're being disrespectful. Right. And I'm about that life. Don't let these hands fool you, because the feet work too. Now you can get froggy if you want to.
I'm really a checker. I'm a checker too, and I don't mind folks checking mine. But today you got to be real mindful, because you out here rumbling somebody's mom. Yeah. And I will say, go get your mom. But what are we teaching our kids then? So I try to make sure that when I'm a checker, I at least check with love. And kids typically know your spirit. If you coming from a place of love and genuine concern, I have godchildren right now, and that's how I met. And working in middle schools, right. Heston for a period of time, and I also worked at Edward Heston. And some of my godchildren right now that I have to this day that are now 23 and 24 with children, that's where we met. Loud, misbehaving kids in the hallway that I had to check, or if they were in the neighborhood at the playground cussing, I had to check them, and then they became mine, my baby. Right. So just like Yogi said, with the young kids, if they coming up and they like, Mr. Yogi, can I get a backpack? You develop those relationships in your community, and then they come back, and you get blessings from them. I like what you also said about, about it starting at home. My dad used to always say that charity begins at home and it spreads abroad. So as parents, we have the responsibility, to make sure that there's balance, to educate our kids, to teach our kids, make sure that they're culturally aware, socially aware, and everything. Because while I try to provide a balance with mine, especially because I have a mix of boys and girls, and some of them are teenagers now, I don't want them fearful but I also want them to know how they're supposed to move out here in the streets. So we're having multiple conversations. We're having the pleasant conversation where I'm talking to you like mommy. And then we're having these conversations. I'm talking to you like nah from the hood, so that you can understand every which way, that I'm coming from.
Right.
We have 2 comments. Mark said, my mom's biggest threat was if you come back in the house one more time, you're staying in. Times have really changed. And I know that was definitely it. You keep coming in the house, you're going to have to stay in. So I stayed out.
I would leave the house with a backpack. I would leave the house with a backpack full of my snacks, my little bottle of juice, my 50 cents so I can get me a 50-cent day soda. I used to have everything in my backpack just to make sure I did not come back in the house because Grandpa Bill was not playing.
Then we have, let's see, Low P said, that's what we need, check each other. But these parents are scared of their children. And I would even go as far as not even, they probably are, but then too, parents act like they don't know their kids. Like, your son is disrespectful. So why you out here? Why you say something to my son? Don't talk to my son like that. So you also like, do I really have time for that? So I think it's twofold. Like, you don't want to, you worried about checking your child, but you want to be out here in the street arguing with me, being disrespectful. So I don't know. I think, like you said, it starts at home. I wanted to see, can you show us some of your clothing so we could, do you have anything that we can see up close? I can't really see the ones in the back.
Yeah, I see the ones in the back.
I can't.
I had a question about being, I had a question for Yogi.
Waiting for me. I got to come get my stuff.
I had a question for Yogi about the clothing apparel and just being in business during this time, these confusing pandemic times. Has it changed the way you work your business, and how has this pandemic affected you?
It actually made it better for me because, like I said, I'm home. So like I do quality assurance for a third-party company that do workers' compensation insurance. So I don't really have to, like, my quota deadline is at the end of the month. So during the day I'm here. There's no commute time for me. Somebody could tell me I need a hoodie, I need a shirt, I need whatever, and I'll be like, all right, it'll be done in 2 minutes. Come around. And so it's more convenient for me. Everything, like my apparel, I get a lot of it shipped in. I do my own press work, so it's a lot easier for me.
So the pandemic has actually increased your business, increased your focus, and made it more streamlined to where you can focus on it even more, being at home and doing the things that you do for your business yourself.
Right, because I don't really need a third party for manufacturing. All I need is just the clothing, and I do all my press work. And the only thing that's been different is me having a son. So sometimes I have to tend to him, and I just shut everything down. Like, nah, my son come first. So
Right.
it's actually been better than if I'd be at work. Because once you're at work all day, you did a work day, you been commuted, you come back home, you don't want to do nothing. You want to eat, wash up, straighten up, and get ready for the next day. And then it was like, I don't even have to do that no more. Like, I work right here, like the same spot I'm sitting in. Look, man, I'm gonna turn it around for you. It's my workstation. Like, so it's like it's my same spot. So
Two computers, where you moving to?
Anything I need, I could call somebody outside and tell them to go get it for me. If I need my son need clothes, get it shipped in. I don't have to go nowhere. So I actually like it, to be honest with you. I wish I could move around a little bit more, but I'm not really worried about it. But to be honest with you, now you remember how on Conestoga Street we didn't really need for nothing. Everything was accessible there, and being as though I was in that type of lifestyle, anything I wanted, it was there. It was brought to me before I even asked for it. I got
Yeah.
this. I got this. People was just bringing me stuff. I was buying stuff I didn't even need. So
Yeah.
like even back then, I used to buy sneakers for the block. I used to give sneakers to the kids for back to school on kind of Stover Street. Little Kayla and all of them used to get sneakers from me when I worked at Foot Locker and all that. So
Shout out
I
to the Foot
always
Locker.
been that way. I used
Shout
to
out
do
to the neighborhood
barbecues and
with that Foot Locker.
Yeah,
What?
I feel like I think the pandemic has
yeah,
really
yeah,
helped
your mom.
strengthen a lot of micro businesses.
Yeah, they said that right now is the time. If you don't grow your business during this pandemic, maybe you shouldn't be in business because it's creating a lot more opportunity. How can they find you to buy and support? And I also we're going to wrap up soon, but I want you to talk about your music. What you're doing in the music business? How can they find you and support what you got going on there?
So you can find me on Instagram under Fatboy Yogi, FATBOYYOGI, and also the business page is Beanie Albine. That's BEANIE underscore ALBINE. Um, as far as the music, I got into music. I always was a fan of hip hop since I was a child. My big cousin used to always play like Run DMC, and, Curtis Blow, and all that when I was little. So I always like hip hop. And plus, the hip hop is branded into you. They teach you your ABCs is a rhyme. So either way, um, to be honest with you, like I started rapping at like maybe at like I probably wrote like one rap when I was younger as a young teen or something. But to be honest with you, Shakir brother, is the one that really got me to start like rapping back in like it had to be
What's his
like
rhyme name?
98, 97, 97, 98. Impact discussion.
Impact. Yep.
Yeah. So Khadija, you remember Joe, our English 3 teacher at Parkway?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Khadija, you remember? So
Yeah.
when Joe had us writing every type of he had us writing every type of every style of poem, and I kept writing poetry. And Hot read my poetry book one day and told me I should start rapping. But now it's like I really stopped rapping in like 2003 because I realized back then it wasn't all the social media and streaming and all that. So I wasn't really making
Right.
no money off of making music,
Yeah.
but I liked it. And then the way everybody started using auto tune and I didn't like it. So I was like, I'm done. I'm cool. I'm gonna stay with my old era, the golden era of rap to me, which I call the golden era of rap. But when I moved to where I'm at now, it's a young Smokey, like I keep saying. He he young, he like 26. But when I heard his music, I didn't want to listen to it because it's auto tune. But
Yeah.
one day I just listened to a song. And he had substance in his music, and I heard his story and his music. I knew that he was the youngest out of all his siblings because he was talking
Mm-hmm.
about stuff that I knew about that he shouldn't know about. And
Right.
but I just like I said, I just back him. And ever since my mom passed, like bro, he started giving me beats. Like I need you to write something to this, and I'd be like, why? And after I let it out, it was therapeutic to me. So me and him got like 3 songs. You can find me on YouTube under Yogi Davis. Me and Smoke has him and I has 2 videos on there. Um, I got a SoundCloud Yogi Davis, and his name is Smokey. S on Instagram SM0KKEY. He's good. He's good. So I'm gonna say I back him, and the other one is Little Sister, the girl Naeem was talking about earlier. But on Instagram, she go by Big Sister. They're both 2 lyrical, very gifted individuals, and I'm backing them too, 100%. It's a bunch of other ones coming too. It's too many of them. I don't want to take up too much time, but yeah, they working, and follow them, follow me. I got some gifts for y'all, Crystal. I got a gift for you too. I didn't know you was gonna be here, but I threw something in there. I got you too. Don't even worry about it. You got to pick up your stuff now, and I got some stuff for y'all. All right.
You on mute now.
I was saying I still got stuff I gotta pick up. The universe, I'll be so busy running, around, but I don't want you to mail it because then it'll be an opportunity for us to talk in person. You know what I mean? And catch up. That's the only reason why I'm like, don't drop it in the mail. Don't drop it in the mail because I want us to catch up. But yeah, I'm excited about it. I am. Listen. I wanted to ask you a question about the ramen because my son was in here and politics. How do you guys feel about people rapping about lifestyles that they really don't live?
Wait, before you answer that, let me just tell you a comment somebody said. Beanie Out Bean Clothing is moving. Yogi is motivating me as well as others. Salute to my guy waiting for his EP to drop. Let's go, Yogi. Good job. I love it. I love seeing men doing positive things.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Whoever that was, thank you. Keep waiting on that EP though. Keep waiting on it. But wait, what was your question again now?
No, it was
I
just
don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Lifestyles that they really don't live. Like it's a lot of rappers out here now rapping, you know what I mean, about lifestyles that they really don't live. And when they have so much influence over the young people, I'm always concerned about that. You know how artists be out here rhyming about lifestyles, glorifying lifestyles that they really don't live. So I mean,
I thought you heard my rap.
and you're like, what are y'all talking about? Y'all see that?
Me personally, I don't like it, but at the same token, I look at it as the media has a great influence on what's being portrayed and what's being mainstream in the music today. When the last time you heard a song like Self Destruction or All in the Same Game? They not going to promote any black positivity in mainstream music because they want us to destroy each other. So they going to play the pop the perk. They going to play the shoot 'em. They going to play the city girls. They want us to destroy ourselves. So at the end of the day, that's they going to make that music because they seeing that's what's getting some people out of the struggle. So if that's what's working and nobody is buying the conscious music or whatever, then they not gonna want to make that music. Like if they realize, like, this is my thing with the music industry today. I tell Smokey this, I tell Lil Sis this, I tell every artist around me this. Do not put your music on them streaming websites. Don't put it on Apple Music. Don't put it on iTunes. Don't put it on Google Play. Because if you put it on there, first of all, if you get 1 million streams, they're going to give you a penny a stream. You're going to get $10,000 for 1 million streams. If you can sell 1,000 copies of your work for $10, that's $10,000. Why are you putting it on the social platform? Then if you get 1 million streams throughout all of them collectively, they're not going to give you $10,000. You got to get it all on one platform.
Yeah.
So I don't like the way music is going today. Because if you sign to a label, you're basically a slave to that label. They're going to own your masters, and then they're going to give you a 360 deal, which means they're going to take a piece of everything. Your merchandise, your brand. Your brand is your name is your brand. Everything that you do is yours. How somebody going to pay you a percentage of your stuff?
Right. You are.
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't like the music today. And as far as people portraying it, go ahead.
No, I would just put her on the spot real quick. I just wanted to say that when you were saying about the guy asking you to write the rhyme, that just reminded me of her, how we used to be back in the day. Like I would write like this much, but she was like really the rapper of our little girl rap gang that we had back in the day. We was trying to rival another Bad Creation and all them back in the day. We thought we was rappers. And I'll be trying to bring it out.
Don't look like that. She's trying to bring us out of retirement.
Like she don't want to do. I'm trying.
Who else is in the
Oh,
crew?
y'all was battling them.
It was me, Naima, I think, and my friend Kendra. It was somebody else.
Nikki.
Oh, and my god sister Nikki. It was 4 of us, and we like had like a whole music video that we was going to do at the Sherwood playground. We had it all planned out. I even remember one time them little commercials that used to come on, and they come on. We supposed to like go to like a studio or something like that and record. Everybody, mom said, yeah, but my mom was like, nah, you can't do that. So she, we had a rap career, budding, but
Linda, I feel like it's Linda's fault that we are not like rap artists and we're not in the Hall of Fame because we might have been like that,
Mom, if you watching, I put you out there. You know what I mean? Like we had that opportunity, we missed the opportunity.
We still not Linda, but dang.
But it was great talking to you. As always, your information is on the bottom. We're gonna promote you. We're gonna push it. When we get done, you can send me the information for little sis. You said his name was Smokey. So that I can put that on the page.
Yeah, Smokey.
Yeah, because what I'm going to do is when I have a moment, because I'm in that rat race too, where you're working all day and get tired. When I have a moment, I'll make sure everybody's information is on the website and you'll be in our blog so people can buy and support. The goal is group economics. We trying to grow together. Buy some Go Beautiful skincare. Join besties.com. Fatboy Yogi, Beanie Albine. Naima's going to wrap up, not rap, not yet.
Why do I always do the wrap up?
Cause you are the official rapper, so you do it so well. Like you're eloquent in your speech and words.
I'm so not.
All right, Crystal, you rap. Crystal, you on the spot.
But I can't. I can't. I was saying Naima is really great at wrapping up. Me wrapping up and saying bye. Thanks for tuning in. See you next week.
I think that could be the wrap up. Like, thanks for coming out. God bless you.
Russell Simmons. Okay. Instead of Russell, we got Crystal.
I don't mind, Crystal. I don't mind. But no, this is great. We always appreciate our guests. Yogi, this has been wonderful. We hope that you join us and you come back to the show, as someone who frequents our show, and we really want to open up our arms to you as a bestie bro, so we can continue to work on each other's missions. Because, like Khadija said, it's about group economics, cooperative economics, and our mission is really about changing the whole community. So we appreciate that you're a part of that mission. We thank you all for joining us. We hope that you have a great night. See you on the forward.
Bye.
Peace. See you next time.